Well, hello and welcome to the Henry County Schools Board of Education Board Meeting Recap. This time for the month of December. My name is Duke Bradley, Chief of Staff, and as always, I'm joined today by our Superintendent, Dr. Mary Elizabeth Davis.
Well, thanks, Duke, and thank you for joining us today. And really, we're just honored to have the opportunity to talk a little bit about the work that's happening in our organization and keep you as our community, as our employees, and as our families informed of the actions taken by the Board of Education to move that work along.
Yeah, I mean, it really is important for us to make sure that every month we are recapping the critical takeaways from all of our board meetings to make sure that all of our parents and families are very well informed. And that really leads us to how we started this board meeting. It was really just a phenomenal event where we were able to talk from our board members' perspective around their attendance at a recent national conference, state conference.
That's right. It was the State School Boards Association Conference. And so school board members from across the state, superintendents from across the state convened in Atlanta, but taking center stage on the most prominent stage possible in public education was one of our seniors, a Luella High School senior, Jenna Fabian, who provided the student remarks alongside the governor, the state school superintendent, and many other dignitaries in public education. It was a matter of fact that our board was so impressed, it actually resulted in them inviting Jenna to come to this board meeting and re-deliver that speech and really showcase this extraordinary impact that Jenna has now had on the leaders of public education. So let's take a look at Jenna's remarks.
And if I can recall, it was the introduction to multiplication facts that had me feeling like enough was enough. When I struggled to memorize my multiplication facts, I told my parents and my teacher that I was done, dropping out and done for good. I realize now that that would not have been a good idea, but it took my co-teacher, Miss Early, and my mom to hold my hand and push me further. I have to tell you, there isn't a day that I don't still feel the warmth of Miss Early's hand. I can feel it pressing and comforting me as I sit for my SATs and write my college applications. I even felt it today as I walked onto stage. And as I look around the room and think about the many other students in Georgia who have had the benefit of a teacher who pushed them, a teacher who wouldn't let them quit and lifted them higher. Because of Miss Early, I now know that I can do hard things and I can conquer my fears.
The 7th grade shaped the trajectory of my life forever. I was at my first HOSA competition, and after a mishap of missing the middle school sign-up, I ended up competing in the overall division with high schoolers. I was just 12 years old. I immediately convinced myself that competing would be a waste of time, but I looked around and realized that I could work harder than anyone else in there, and that is just what I did. Winning 3rd place recognition and sparking my interest in the CTAE healthcare pathway, and now my future plans to major in healthcare management with a concentration in physical therapy. I learned I could lead, I could outwork, and I could adapt to pressures, all while igniting a passion for healthcare that would last with me for a lifetime. Because of the people along the way that held my hand and the teachers, counselors, school leaders, and educators that do the same thing for students across the state could and probably should be defined by the moment caused by the worldwide pandemic. Disruption, separation, anxiety, depression, and lack of motivation. I felt it, my friends felt it, and I'm not sure there is any graduating senior that didn't. But we are all still graduating seniors. And this country and our state should not take for granted the perseverance, strength, and determination that is found in the core of all of us. We will walk across the stage in just 6 short months. Teachers never stopped holding our hands, counselors never stopped pushing us, and principals never stopped reinventing everything they could to create new moments, new memories, and a chance to succeed. And thank you to all of the educators in Georgia who make those moments possible. Moments for me and all students who are counting on hands to be held, chorus concerts to be performed, HOSA and track competitions to be hosted, AP courses to be available, dual enrollment options, extracurricular activities, and moments to be nurtured along the way. Thank you for creating conditions for all students to learn, Every day, surrounded by the most amazing people who build dreams, create visions, and make impossible moments possible moments for all students today.
As you can see, Jenna was absolutely extraordinary and got a standing ovation both at the conference and in the boardroom when she redelivered, and that just set the stage for the important work that the Board of Education had ahead of them. We started out the agenda with operational effectiveness and got into some of the matters provided by our Chief Operations Officer, Josh Malcolm.
I am here to present the November Construction East Plus report. It's the only item I have for you guys tonight. I'll start with the addition to Dutchtown High School. You can see the information tonight. We are inside now, put it in the finished stage on that project, so it may not look like that on the outside right now, but we are quickly moving toward completion of that addition project. You can see acoustical ceilings, painting, roofing, things like that. We're really starting to tighten up that facility to turn it over in February. Moving down to the Security Access Control Project, you can see we're making good progress through that now. We've completed Phase 1 at all of our schools now. Phase 2 is completed at 45 of the schools. Phase 3, which is the panel installation, is at 43 schools. Phase 4, the device installation is at 32 schools, and we've actually started programming at 27 of our schools right now. So moving over to the Fairview Elementary School Exterior Modifications Project, we're in the front. We've completed the side canopies. We're completing the front canopies at this time, so you can see things like the CMU and brick are going up the columns at this point. We've even started some of the sheathing of that as well to put the roof on that too, and then the canopy lighting has been put on those. Those are pretty substantial canopies out in front of Fairview Elementary School, so there will be exterior canopy lighting under those as well. Moving down to the HVAC installation for Henry County Schools Elementary School gym buildings. We've gotten some in December. We'll get the remainder of those in February, and this project will end July of this summer. And then finally down to Birch Creek Elementary, probably the best news. We have started clearing activities out at that project now. So as of last Monday, logging started out there, and we'll get into putting that site together as we start to build Birch Creek Elementary School.
So from this point going forward, every month we will continue to provide updates on the budget development process for our FY24 budget all the way up to adoption. So we encourage you to make sure that you are checking our website and viewing these board recaps to make sure that you are fully aware of everything that's going on with regard to the budget development process. And our next item is about our enterprise resource management system. This is a term that you may not necessarily be familiar with, but I will tell you that it is critically important because, as you know, Henry County Schools is growing. We are the county's largest employer. We have 43,000 students. We have 6,000 employees. And the infrastructure of how we actually get business done really, truly has to be updated. And so Shanika Clay, our Chief Financial Officer, provided a presentation to our Board of Education for our board to take action on, and it really will be a game changer, we believe, for our district.
Today, I bring forth a recommendation for the board to authorize an investment in a new enterprise resource planning solution. This recommendation is aligned to Strategic Action 5, which calls for our organization to advance a high-performing operating culture. An enterprise resource planning solution, which is commonly referred to as an ERP, is a type of software system that helps an organization automate and manage business processes for optimal performance. Before I close, I would like to publicly thank my colleagues, Dr. Blanton, Dr. Knowlton, and all of our evaluation team members. This recommendation moves us forward in our pursuit to advance our practices and operate as a high-performing school district.
So in the evening meeting, the board took unanimous action to approve the acquisition of a new ERP system, which will replace our legacy system, now 35 years old. This software infrastructure is for human resource processes, financial processes, document management, as well as asset management and inventory, and really will result in improved conveniences for employees as well as improved efficiencies for taxpayers. This is the right step forward to modernize the infrastructure of our organization. That business item then led us to the business item around policy work. And so Duke, why don't you talk a little bit about the policies that have been out for public review and the action that resulted?
Yeah, so policy is at the core of everything that we do in our district, and our board takes very seriously the process of policy review and policy adoption. By unanimous consent, there were 2 policies in particular that our board took action on, and the basis of these policies is really about making sure that our parents and families are aware of the processes that they need to take if there is in fact instructional materials that they want to have reviewed that are made accessible to their children.
That's right. And if you'd like to visit that policy, I'd encourage you to visit our website. And if you have any questions about the process associated with that policy, I'd encourage you to talk with your principal or let any one of us know so that we can be of assistance. The importance of policy work was then followed by action taken for the Board of Education for 2 land-associated requirements. One was a right-of-way for the Flippin Road extension in partnership with the Board of Commissioners in order to support that very important transportation improvement project in the Dutchtown cluster area. And the other was the sale of a small piece of property adjacent to the Woodland cluster. Those 2 actions taken by the board really rounded out the business of the board for that evening. But of course, our business is coupled with keeping students at the center. And we really did have some extraordinary awards and recognitions as well as inspiration. Why don't you kick us off with the inspiration?
Well, inspiration is really the very best part of our board meetings. And so this month we had students from Stockbridge Elementary come in and provide some really wonderful entertainment. They performed for us December in Our Town, and I'm sure that you'll be impressed. Let's take a look.
It's December in our town, a wonderful place to be. It's December in our town, excitement, look and see. Candles are lit in golden auroras. Stables are lined with hay. The drums of Kwanzaa will excite us, and luminaries light the way.
That wonderful performance was followed by awards and recognition, and this month we had several people, really including our Board of Education, who was recognized at the State Association of Educators Conference for their exemplary board status, which is the 3rd year in a row that they've actually received that designation, and also for the Leading Edge Award, which really recognizes boards of education for innovative practices that have positive results for students and for their district. And so let's take a look at some of the folks who were recognized during this month's board meeting.
And as we wrapped up our Board of Education meeting, it wasn't without recognizing some extraordinary contributions of educators that are retiring and celebrating a legacy of service to Henry County Schools. And I want to just take a moment and recognize Jolie Harden, our Executive Director in Human Resources, along with Gabe Creary, an Executive Director for School Leadership and Operations, and Dr. Tony Obanoff, the principal at Flippin Elementary School. Congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for your incredible service to the young people in Henry County. And we also, at the same time, get to welcome new team members. And so welcome to the Henry County Schools leadership team, to Sean Thompson, who will be leaving Union Grove Middle School as the principal in order to take on the role of Director of Performance and Accountability. Congratulations, Mr. Thompson. And to Kyle Sears, who will become our Executive Director of Communications and Media Relations, who is joining us from Mercer University. And welcome to the Henry County team, and we look forward to your extraordinary contributions. Well, Duke, I think that wrapped it up.
Yeah, it wraps it up. Can you believe it? Again, we are at the midway point of the 22-23 school year. We've had an action-packed semester. We've gotten some really wonderful things done. We're really excited about what's happening in the classrooms, and I can assure you, really, just more to come next semester.
That's right. Have a great holiday season and a happy new year.
While this was just the board recap, you can view the entire board meeting on our website. Also, before we let you go, we encourage you to follow us on social media. That's all from Henry County Schools today. Remember, we are always in pursuit of exceptional, and we'll see you next month.